Hello there, viewer. So, welcome to the episode 3 of creating a sliding puzzle game. And in this episode, we're going to fix some of the bugs. Let me quickly open Godot Game Engine. Now, let's get to the project. Here is it, our project. Now let's try to fix some of the things. So in the previous episode, what we did, we actually commented this thing out. So this piece of code, the function kinematic body story setup, was actually commented out like this. So the piece of code was not working properly. Now let's run this code from the previous episode. Look, there is error. The error is invalid call non-existent function move and slide in base nil, which means we are applying the move and slide function to our null object. Why a null object? Because here there is a function selected box, which means a specific key is connected to a specific box. But what is the value of selected box if you press no key, which means prior to pressing any key? That is null, which means selected box initially starts from null. So there is no default value. Thus, selected box is a null initially. And the movement function applied to null object returns an error. Thus, we can actually move the movement function inside an if condition. So if selected box is not equal to null. Under this condition, we can move our movement function. Now what will happen? Let's run the code. So here is it. Now it produced no error because if selected box is equal to null, the movement function will not run. Effectively, that if the selected box is null, the movement function will not run on that null value, thus producing no error. So now let's work with it. Let's press Q. If I press Q, I can move this specific block right there. If I press W, I can move this one. If I press E, I can move this specific one. Which means we have got 3 movable entities, but there is one problem with it. That is that they currently have nothing like an entity box, something like for collisions and stuff. Now let's fix this specific piece of code right here. So here we used 3 null values. But what if we want to make sure this piece of code works right here? First of all, let's make sure that this star does not remain a comment in the function. Ready? Now let's fix it. How do you fix it? Because currently it has 0 elements. So you cannot change a specific element. This is wrong way. What is the correct way is to append it with elements. So we can use this one, dot append. This is it. Now what happens? The element which is null gets appended 3 times. So it gets 3 elements, and now we can actually specifically exchange those elements by kinematic body 2D. This is it. And now if we run the code, let's see how it works. And there we go, it works. If I press W, the center one will move. If I press Q, this box, specific box, moves. And if I press E, this one moves. Therefore, our code works. Alright, that is it. This is it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking the video, and for more such videos, consider subscribing. Comments are always welcomed for any type of improvement. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you next week.